one of the ways to begin to take the word and make it your own, to live into it, is to take a piece of scripture that really resounds with you, that you hear it speaking to you all the time. Take it and pray it. Pray it out loud. If you don't know where to begin, if you don't have one of those scriptures that is near and dear to you, then look at the Psalms. You might start with Psalm 91:2. Again, read it aloud and pray it as a prayer for strength. This is a psalm that someone told me after the first service that this is a psalm for soldiers. It's called the Soldier's Psalm. I had not heard that before. And it makes perfect sense because it's strengthening. It's a psalm that can be used when you encounter all the things that are happening in the world, when you're saddened by the news of earthquakes and tornadoes and floods and fires and wars, when you're saddened by what's going on in your own life, by families that are torn apart, by children who are going astray, by financial difficulties, you name it. You know what's happening in your lives and in the lives of your family and in your friends. And you know that it's not always happiness, but God is always in the picture. If we can learn to trust Him, and if we can turn to His Word for strength when we don't have strength, when strength fails us. Jesus was both God and man, and yet He had times of grief. But He had the Spirit, and He had the Word. He had the Scripture that He could turn to. He knew it. We need to learn how to live into the Scripture. Psalms 91:2 says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I can trust. Can you say this with me? I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I can trust. Can you say it again, this time as a prayer? I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I can trust. Carry this home with you. Carry it home with you in your heart. Keep it there. He is there for you. The Word is there. The Scripture will help you. Dig into the Scripture, for it is life. Work at it so that you know it well and will not be fooled by evil motives. Now, a question for you to go home with. How might committing to live a life in the Word change your life? How might committing to living in the Word change your life? Beginning today. Beginning today. From the time that you rise to the time that you rise again, because He doesn't leave you in the middle of the night. When you wake in the night and you have fears and you have things running through your head, but you can't sleep because there's too much of life getting in the way of your having rest. There are too many concerns. Turn to the Lord. Turn in prayer. And maybe you don't have the words to speak, to pray. But if you have that piece of Scripture, pray it and find rest in the Lord. Let us go to the Lord in prayer. Oh, loving Father, help us remember that we always have you with us, and that you have left us your Spirit, and that you have left us your word that we can come back to. Oh Lord, strengthen us in our journey, that we turn to you, that you are our refuge and our fortress, that we believe it, that we trust in you with all that we are, with our hearts, our minds, and our souls. We give you thanks, Lord, and we love you. We go now into the prayer that you have taught us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.